The Celtic cross spread. This is probably the most common in-depth tarot spread. There are a few variations on it, and some of the card placements may have more than one meaning. Again, it's up to yours, the reader's decision and intention, what the meanings for each placement will be, or if you want the placements to have those multiple meanings and then see what intuitively comes through. Celtic cross readings can be done as blind readings, of course, as any reading or spread can be done, or a specific question or possibly questions, because it is a large spread, can be put forth. So in the PDF, I gave 3 sample layouts or how to do the layouts with some meanings applied to them. The third one in there, I wrote out how I do the layout and the placement meanings. So I'm going to use that as my sample here. So there are 10 card or 11 card Celtic cross spreads, or you could say 10 cards and a significator, or just a 10 card spread. I do the 11 card or the significator plus 10 card spread. And let's talk about significator first. So the first card laid down is called a significator card. There is a very traditional tarot practice, and I don't do this, but if you want to, you can, where the significator card is purposely picked out of the deck to represent either the reader or the person you're reading for. So I know someone who always takes the Queen of Cups out of the deck and lays that down as the significator card representing her, the reader. I personally don't do that, and again, it's up to you if you want to do that, but it's not very common now, I would say. For me, the significator is the underlying theme or the underlying message of the entire spread for the person getting the reading, whether it's you or someone you're reading for. So that's the first position here, the significator. And in this spread, again, this was an imaginary spread. I had no intention as I was shuffling the cards and laying these out. I was just laying out a spread for the purpose of this course. But here we have the Sun card, which can be seen as the underlying theme, as there's a great time of joy present now in someone's life, and that will last for the duration of time that this spread covers. And I want to also point out, if you want a spread to cover a certain period of time, have that intention before you can begin shuffling. So let's say you want to say, you can ask, how will the next 6 months go for me? So you can, state your question to yourself that way. Or you can say, what's coming up with work for me in the next year or so? So if you want a time frame, you can set it. Or if you're intuitive or you want to tap into this intuition, you can just wait and see until a time frame comes up. And that's often how it works for me. I'll get a month will pop into my head when I'm discussing something. Okay. So the significator here, the underlying theme for this imaginary spread, is a great time of joy, which is very nice. The next position is next to that. And here we got the Hermit card. And this next position is for the client, the person getting the reading, and or the present situation. Now, I tend to leave it open where the placements can have these multiple meanings, and I see what comes through the strongest. Again, it's up to you and your intentions. So let's say the Hermit is the client. So someone's been getting really in touch with themselves spiritually, doing a lot of inner seeking. Maybe they went on, a spiritual retreat, and now they're entering this phase of bright joy. Now surrounding them, so this card that lays sideways, this can be the present environment because it's around the person. So their surroundings. It can also be seen as a challenge or a block. And here we have the Six of Wands. So this person is feeling, so that's in their environment, they're feeling recognized by others. People are acknowledging them for whatever it is. And it's probably acknowledging them for the inner seeking that they've done. Acknowledging them for their spiritual growth. So with these first 3 cards, it looks like this person's in a really good time in their life. Now the next card is that which is above. So this can be the mind, the ego mind, the higher self, and I tend to read this as the higher self if it's a major arcana, and if it's a minor arcana, just the mind, what's going on in the head. It can also be incoming energy, as in this energy is coming down into this person. And here the moon, I pulled the moon. So I would interpret this as part of the person's higher self, their soul, has gotten very intuitive through this deep inner seeking. And then below, we have the physical body, so mind and body. This can also be the foundation or energy. So foundations are already laid. So energy that is done. And in that essence, it can be something that is soon to be passing out, but not passing yet. And here we have the Three of Swords. So maybe this person, went through a terrible time. They were experiencing a lot of grief and sorrow. Maybe their spouse cheated on them and they experienced great loss from that. And that triggered them to go into this deep spiritual seeking phase. They've gotten in tune with their emotions, their soul's intuition. People are seeing that they've accomplished this great spiritual growth. And of course, they're in a lovely time. Now, on the left is the past position. So it can be what is past, done, and gone, but it does show up in the spread. So sometimes there's a little lingering energy of this, or it's just affirmation that something is done. So we have the Page of Swords. And, the Page of Swords, remember, he's on guard. He's a little cautious. He's looking over his shoulder. So maybe there was some mistrust. Maybe the person was cheated on. There was a love triangle that brought a lot of sadness. And this card being in the past is an indicator that this need to look over your shoulder to see if something is going on behind your back, that's past. And that's also affirmation that this person is in a good place spiritually and emotionally now. On the right, we have the Future card. And we have the Three of Cups, which is a card of celebration. So this person may be celebrating this spiritual growth, this emotional healing, you can say, this getting deeper in tune with their soul and their intuition, and they're making new friends. Maybe with our example, this person is now dating more, going out, meeting more people, and enjoying life, really feeling the abundance of life now. They've really healed. Now on the right, sometimes I call this the staff of the cross because people say, how is this a cross? Just imagine these 4 cards underneath, and then you kind of see the cross shape. So the bottom card, and they're laid bottom up traditionally, the bottom card is the client's energy in the future. It can also be seen as their strengths, or sometimes people say strengths and weaknesses, depending on the card. And we have the Ace of Cups. And so I would say, with our example here, that this person finds new love. They fall in love again. The next card is the future environment. Sometimes it's called the home position. The Six of Pentacles. A balanced and harmonious relationship. So because this is the environment, this could be the person that they meet. Someone who's kind and generous. The next position up is the hopes and fears. And I often say our hopes are our fears, and our fears are our hopes, because we hope for big things. We hope for grand things and wonderful things. Yet that will indicate change needs to come about, and that can be scary, right? So this person's hopes, obviously this was more strongly a hope than something they feared, was love, that interconnected partnership. Now, this may have been a strong fear when this client was in this Three of Swords phase and this Page of Swords phase. But especially here, when this client was hurt, before they went on this seeking and really got in tune with their soul and their intuition, before they felt the sunshine, the joy within. But it definitely becomes a very strong hope. And their hopes come true because we see this new love with someone kind and generous in a balanced, harmonious relationship. And the outcome here, so the outcome position, is the Page of Pentacles. So Page is a child. Pentacles, earth, physical. This could be the birth of a child. So this person in our little made-up reading here, was in an unhealthy relationship where he or she had to look over their shoulder. They couldn't trust the person they were with. Their heart was broken. There was a love triangle or just a lot of pain and sorrow in the relationship that triggered them to go on a deep spiritual journey within, or literally without. Maybe they went on retreat. They got in tune with the joy, and this joy, again, it's the significator, the underlying theme, will permeate the rest of the spread. They connected with their intuition that helped them heal emotionally. Other people in their environment are recognizing them for this accomplishment and this personal spiritual growth. They'll be entering in a phase where they want to socialize more, hang out, start dating. They'll find new love with a kind and generous person who respects mutual respect. The hope of this deeply connected soulmate type relationship is fulfilled, and then they have a child. Okay, so that's just a sample read of a Celtic cross spread and the layout, and how I do my layout. And they're all fairly similar, and you can see in the few samples in the PDF that they're just minor variations. But you can also reassign meanings to the different placements. Again, it's up to you. Know what you want to do, set your intentions before you shuffle, and practice your readings.